So I am going to go into imposter syndrome.
Oh,
Because I have worked with Martin and Will. I literally go back on tour with Martin this fall.
oh wow.
I've had the opportunity to go on tour with him before COVID.
Yeah.
I was the only female millennial on that tour. Like,
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's incredible.
I would get on stage and we're in an arena. They're here for Martin Lawrence. Of course, like my fans are there too.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, he got people that come off social media to go on tour with him that he believed in. But I had to like send in a tape. Like he had to watch my stand up. He had to like be like, I'm not just getting this girl because she has followers. She got to be good.
I vet you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoever opens up for me has to set the tone for me to come out on stage. This is the Martin Lawrence tour. So I got to go on tour with him, and I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to go on tour with him. I'm going to just get on stage. He going to be in the back. He not going to be worried about me, whatever. I hugged my first show. I remember hugging him, walking on stage, and I was like, where is he going? You know, he stood right there and watched. And I was like, oh,
from the wings.
And I'm like, in my mind, like, am I good? Am I going to kill this? Am I good enough? Yes.
Yes, you.
He chose you for a reason. You are amazing
Right.
in Martin's sight or out of his sight. I got to work with Will for his 50th birthday.
Oh,
I hosted his 50th birthday in Budapest, and
that's what's up.
I got to interview him. I was so nervous, but it's like, you're worthy to be here. Like they chose you for a reason.
Yeah.
So did you have imposter syndrome on set? Did you feel like that? I know you worked with them in Bad Boys 3, but I'm saying this was a way bigger role.
4, not so much, because that was like returning home.
Okay.
Doing the 4th film, because we the same actors, same directors.
It was already a
same
family.
DOP, a lot of the same crew. So we shot in similar locations as the 3rd one. So it was like a trip coming back. It was like stepping into some sort of time machine. Like the 4 years hadn't even happened.
Yeah.
But the 3rd one, I mean, once I got to set, there wasn't really an imposter syndrome, because you do have to pack that away in order to do the job.
Yeah.
You know? And if you are looking at these guys, which I was, as, you know, my heroes,
legends,
and idols,
icons,
you just pretend, you know, just be like, okay, no, like you have to be able to compartmentalize that side of it, because if you don't, you'll be hamstrung and the performance will be affected negatively, because you'll be thinking about things that are nothing to do with the scene and the people and the situation in front of you.
Yeah.
The one time where I did get like starstruck was when I was doing the audition process and I met Will for the first time.
He was in your audition?
He wasn't meant to be.
Oh,
he wasn't
God.
meant to be. I did this casting and I come to LA with not like a lot of money, and I was up to like 3 things in the 2 weeks that I was here, and one of them was Bad Boys.
Okay.
And I get the recall, but it's like 2 or 3 weeks after I'm supposed to leave.
Okay.
My manager's just like, oh, just extend your trip. I'm like, you don't get it. I am broke. Like,
okay. I am grinding right now. I don't have it.
If I don't make it on this plane, I am sleeping on the streets tonight. You know what I mean? Yeah. So she did some like jiggery pokery and switched up the dates. And then I came in on the day that I was leaving to head back to London. So I did the casting and it went pretty okay, but I didn't really feel like I left my mark in the room. So I exit Jerry Bruckheimer's office and I'm there waiting on the curb with my suitcases. And I was with my ex at the time, and she was waiting there with all her suitcases. And we're supposed to go straight to the airport.
Wow.
And like I got this hamster wheel turning in my head, and she kind of looks over me and she's like, what?
What you think about?
I'm like, wait right there. And I go back inside to the casting room.
Wow.
Because I'm like, I got to do something here. Like, this is my shot. It's very rare in a life-changing moment that you recognize it's gonna be life-changing.
This is the moment.
Yeah, and I did. I was like, this is it. I got to grab this with both hands. So I went back into the office and I was thinking, what would Armando do? Because I was still in character. I like to stay in character the whole time when I'm auditioning. And luckily, the producers invited me back into the room, and we got to talking about my life and asked me if I had weapons training and fight training, and we ended up talking for like half an hour. And then they were like, oh, we should get you in the room with Will. And I was like, Will? There's only one Will. Like, I didn't even know he was going to be here. And they did. They walked me back into the casting room, and there was like 20, 30 people in the room now at this point.
Wow.
But as soon as the door opens, like the first person I see
is Will.
And he just opens his arms up. He's like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, you sound just like him. Yeah.
You know. And he's just like, gives me a big hug. And they put us in front of camera, and we end up having like an impromptu chemistry read together then and there. And the first time I saw him, he had like this fucking aura, like this movie star aura around him, because like the extent of my relationship with Will was like watching him on Fresh Prince and
100%,
all my movies.
100%.
It was one of my favorite movies that he was in. So seeing him live in the flesh, I was like, holy shit, that's him. But again, you know, I was in Armando zone, so I like had to pack it away. I parked it and
take that moment.
Yeah, and it ended up working out.
So you said something really like that got my mind flowing and so super profound, because we just did an episode, Q&A, and people ask me, so how do you know when to not give up? How do you know when to keep going? How do you know purpose and entrepreneurship? And I get asked all these questions because of the position we're in, right? There's a lot of people trying to get to where we are, even if they don't want to be in entertainment. You said, I was broke. So take me back to Jacob in that season of your life when you're hustling and grinding. Like, how are you doing these auditions? Because you were traveling you weren't living in LA, were you?
No. That was like I think that was my first time being in LA.
Take me back to that season of Jacob. When you're broke and you're literally grinding and you're waiting on, how do you know this is for you? How do you know it's going to fall through? How do you know God called you to do this? And not give up and be like, I'm not going to act anymore because
I remember
it's not working.
I remember the specific moment that happened. I was auditioning for drama schools and I didn't get into any of them.
Okay.
Back in the UK. So I ended up going to university and getting my degree in film and literature. And then I come out of uni and I'm like looking for acting jobs and nothing's really popping off for me. So, you know, you got to make money. So I'm like getting odd jobs. I'm like, I had about 10 odd jobs. I was like, you know, a waiter. I was a bellboy at a hotel with like the little red cap on and the red jacket, which I actually got fired from. And I ended up...
What you do? Well, stealing.
I did steal the jacket. I took that. I took the jacket and the hat, but that was like severance pay, you know? I was like, I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving with something.
Yeah. So I've actually been fired from every single job I've had apart from acting.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm cut out for like the service industry.
For sure.
But yeah, so it was like jobs, you know, just getting by basically. And I remember I had an opportunity to go into like a 9-to-5 type situation and get like a steady paycheck. And I remember telling my mom about it. I was like, oh, I've got this opportunity and, you know, it's quite good money. She looked at me, she was like, oh yeah, that's good, son. But like, don't forget who you are.
Ooh,
like that.
Wait.
I was like, God damn it. Wow.